What up, folks, and welcome to the Kyber Culture, episode 95 with myself, Joe. And today I have a very special guest here to discuss Joe Coy's Easter Sunday. It's my brother, Tim Depakakibo of the Kuya Pop Culture Show. Throughout this episode, if you're Filipino, I don't know how many Filipino people listen to this show, but I'm be referring to him as Kuya all throughout. That just means older brother in Tagalog. So stick around for a chat. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and TikTok, as well as our other socials like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. Just check the links in the description. It's all there. Before we talk about the movie, Kuya, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Happy to have you on, not only for this episode, but for future pods. How's it going, dude?
Dude, thanks for having me on, man. Doing okay, man. You know, your sister-in-law's pregnant. So dealing with that.
Shout out to Talia.
We're trying to baby-proof the apartment right now, so that hence the mess in the background back here. Yeah, just trying to get through, man.
Yeah.
You know, how are you?
Not bad, and enjoyed a day off on Friday. Work's giving me a lot of time off, so just trying to enjoy the time. But yeah, so no complaints on my end. Everything is pretty regular, going pretty smoothly. Can't complain. But yeah, let's talk a bit about Kuya Pop Culture Show. So this is you have your own YouTube channel. You're on Instagram. Mm-hmm. But how long you been doing it? Kind of what made you want to start it? Let's hear it.
Honestly, it was really more like something I just started during the pandemic.
Okay.
Working from home.
Gotta love a pandemic project.
Yeah. So it's been about 2 years, I guess. Me, I like have cameras all over the place. I have small ones, and I needed to find a use for them and stuff. I even have a drone, but I haven't used that in a while. But I just started it because that was actually a pet project between me and my other buddy Joe. But I do like the editing and a lot of the shooting, and it's been around for a while. It's going pretty well, So hopefully we just keep it going. It's still growing, still kind of a little bit in its infancy, I guess, if you want to say it that.
Sure.
So yeah,
that's awesome. And Aaron, the co-host of this pod, he's always like, he follows you guys on Instagram and everything like that, and he's always texting me about how, like, dude, how often does your brother go to Disneyland? And I'm like, look, man, like, he and his wife are like pass holders, and it's literally like have you guys gone like every single day of the week at some point, or?
There was one point, when her family's in town, I don't because I'm at work, but they'll go there opening to close every day that they're here, or every day that they go to the park, which is probably, 5 out of the 7 days that they're here.
Dude, that sounds so exhausting. Like,
it
one
is
day,
exhausting.
Like, I don't have a pass myself. I'm not, me, I'm not that big of a theme park person, and like, I am exhausted by the end of the day.
I mean, Jayla and I go maybe twice a week.
Oh, and twice? Okay, I thought it was more than that.
Oh, no, I just like record a lot and take a lot of pictures. Sometimes we'll go 3 times, depending on how the workday goes, but a lot of times, on average, it's about twice a week. And depending on whether or not we get our passes renewed, Disney's taking forever with releasing the new annual pass program. So we don't even know if we'll be going, especially with Talia coming. We're probably going to lock ourselves in our apartment for like 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's expected due date?
November 10th, Mom and Dad's wedding anniversary. She might come early, so I'm actually going to start my remote work or whatever my work decides to do as far as my paternity. So I'll probably start that mid-October. So.
And yeah, no, it's very exciting. Congratulations. Obviously, I know what it is because I'm your little bro, but for the listeners, But okay, cool. So one big part of your show is like, not only is it about like going to Disneyland or whatever, but you're a big collector.
Oh yeah.
So I want to ask you this. Like, I know you've probably been collecting stuff since I was born, since like the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have any collectibles still that you like since I came into the picture?
I wish I did, because it'd probably be worth a lot of money, boatload of money if I still had it. Like, I had some of the first edition action figures from the Phantom Menace.
Oh wow!
Like,
I feel like I remember those.
Yeah, and I think they got lost when we moved from our old house to where our parents live now. I'm sure I had 2 Darth Mauls, and I think I had maybe 1 or 2 Jar Jar.
Were you big on Hot Wheels? I feel like you had a lot of Hot Wheels.
No, I did.
No?
I was never big on Hot Wheels. No, I have a few now.
Yeah.
That a buddy of mine was able to get. Like, a buddy of mine was able to get me for the Fast and the Furious series. But as far as like Hot Wheels, no, I was never that big. When I was younger, before you came around, I had like maybe a boatload of Ninja Turtles figures.
Okay.
Yeah, so those were what I had the most of.
Did you collect any Power Rangers?
No.
No?
Never got into Power Rangers.
Okay, so I think these are just the toys that mom and dad just got for me. Hot Wheels and Power Rangers, because that's what I remember from when I was a kid. Yeah, and I wasn't collecting them. I was just playing with them.
I kind of collected basketball cards for a little while, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You don't have like a binder of those somewhere?
Mm-mm. I had some pretty old, like, 89... like year 89 Michael Jordan cards. So that was like what maybe his 5th or 6th year in the league or something like that. So those are probably worth something. But no, I don't have that binder anymore, unfortunately.
I feel like card collecting is as big as it is now than it was then too. Do you ever see people just on Twitch or YouTube just like opening packs of cards and then they freak out like getting some card? I don't even know what like what the big deal is, but I'm like, okay, that it must be pretty special if
Oh yeah. It's gotten so big that like one of the I think the store is called Cool Kicks. It's like a place on Melrose where you could get it's a sneaker reseller, I believe it is. Okay. They actually opened another store just for card collectors.
Nice.
So it's pretty big. It's pretty huge.
I couldn't believe it. But as far as collecting goes, why is it that you collect? Like, what kind of got you into collecting? Is it more so just to own it and have the product and to just kind of like, you know, like sit and look at it, or do you have like an intention to resell the stuff?
It's a little of both. Your older brother's like a bit of a fanboy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, shoot, I wasn't into Harry Potter, but then, you know, obviously the pandemic shut everything down, and I watched all of the movies. Mm-hmm. And you know, I get into like what is it, a lore or whatever, or a series, you know, I kind of dive in. Gotcha. You know, and I like having like small pieces from the movies and stuff. And I just like having it to look at, really. You know, if I was gonna get rid of it, then I would get rid of it. But right now, I just like having it, you know, because it just reminds me of stuff that I enjoy. So
yeah, for me, like I don't collect too much. Like I have like a lot of Funkos, honestly. Like behind my TV, not behind my TV, behind my computer, I'm looking at like 6 or 7 Funkos. And then behind me, I don't know if you can see that little shelf back there, but there's some Funkos there. Yeah. And then I have a bunch on a shelf in my living room, and then my closet's full of them as well. So a lot of them I can't even look at because I simply do not have the space.
Yeah, I hear you.
But as far as my Funko collection is concerned, it's like I know that I like. Okay, so there are some that I buy 2 of all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this one I will keep, but this other one's going to go at some point, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's mostly true for, I'd say, about 85% of my collection I'll probably sell at some point. And then the other ones I'm going to keep. So you will be able to sell it. There's going to be a lot of things that you simply cannot let go of, right?
Probably. I mean, one of the things that one of the things that I've been collecting for a long time are sneakers.
Right.
You know, some of them, like, I actually wear them, though. I don't, like just leave them, you know?
Do you do your best to not, like, crease them? Like, do you walk different whenever you're wearing these shoes?
No, I do not walk different. I do not have crease protectors or whatever, or crease preventers. Like, I guess that's like a piece of plastic that you put in the toe box.
Right.
I do not own a pair of those, but... Yeah, no, I love Jordans. I mean, you know that I bought you a couple of pairs, dude.
Yeah. Every time that, if there was anything I remember from back in the day when you collected stuff, because I think sneakers have been like your long time thing, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you bought shoes, I would always be with you at the mall, and then I don't know if I'd ask. I don't know if I'd ask her if you just offer.
No, there was one time you asked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was very nice. Like, whenever you got shoes, I always got the same pair, but like for kids, it was pretty great.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore, dude. I might as well get myself 2 pairs.
I'll get the other pair. It's fine. You can still give me a pair of shoes. We probably have the same size foot now. I don't know.
Probably, yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, like some of the collection stuff. I mean, it's kind of a mess right now, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see it if I turn the computer. But I'm starting to build like a background for the pop culture show. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm starting to wall mount some stuff, and we just moved in here. Well, not really just moved in. I mean, you helped us move in, but just finally starting to find time to put stuff up, so that way I can have some kind of backdrop. But gotcha. Yeah, you know, sneakers have always been probably up there for me.
Gotcha.
As far as collecting goes.
So this is kind of like a part 2 of the question I just asked you. But what would you say your favorite collectible that is in your possession, like right now?
Favorite? I would honestly have to say it's the. It used to be my Anakin lightsaber, my Anakin Legacy lightsaber, but I really, really like my my Obi-Wan lightsaber now.
And you just got that, right?
I just got it.
It's like brand spanking new. I didn't think I would
like it. Yeah, I did not think I would like it as much as I do, because with the lightsabers that you get from Disneyland, they're not exactly the best. They have enough detail to make them good enough, I guess. I mean, there's other outlets that you can get them where they're weathered and you can actually duel with them, and they're not as sensitive as the Legacy lightsabers from Disney. But this one in particular, I mean, I wish I had it with me right now. I thought I did, but this one's probably my favorite one right now. And on top of that, I've always been a fan of Obi-Wan. Sure. You know? I mean, yeah, it's a Legacy saber, but I mean, it's got a little bit of weathering to it, which I love. You know, and yeah, this one's definitely tops the list right now as far as something that I love the most.
Nice. Now, would you say that the Disney brand, as far as their lightsabers go, like it's all about the hilt, but then the other brands are more about the actual saber part and the lighting of it and everything? Because that one you brought to the house the other day was like, the hilt wasn't really, it was like a black hilt, but it didn't really belong to anybody in specific, right? Yeah, so it's more so just about like, I don't know, the Disney ones just have the actual, like almost movie quality look to them. Yeah,
I mean, the Disney ones, I would say that the Legacy lightsabers from Disney are, you know, a good starting point because, I mean, they look almost exactly like the ones from the TV shows or the movies, but the independent, like probably non-licensed lightsabers, they're actually a little better. They're a little more sturdy. And you can actually, a lot of them are rechargeable, so you don't have to constantly change the batteries or anything like that. I mean, you saw the other one that I have. You can the speaker quality is a lot better, and you can actually change the saber colors. So I like those a little more. The only problem is they can be expensive. So they're more expensive than the ones at Disneyland. That's crazy to think about. Because like everything at Disneyland is fucking expensive. It's expensive. Like the lightsaber company that I bought the black one from, they make a version of this one that's pretty dope. This one I got for, I believe it was around $240 total. It came with the hilt, a blade, a belt clip, and a stand. And the company that I bought the other lightsaber from, who makes this, just the hilt and the blade alone would have been about $500.
Good God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but they don't sacrifice quality.
Gotcha.
You know, I actually like the independent saber manufacturers, I guess, or dealers, a little better than the than the Legacy Sabers at Disneyland. The only problem is they can be a lot more expensive.
You said you had a collectible that you couldn't get rid of at all, like ever?
Yeah, partially because I don't think anybody would want them anyway. But Jayla and I have custom pop figures.
Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
were these the ones on top of your guys' wedding cake?
That was one set, and then we went to the Funko shop in Hollywood where you can have them where you can have them made.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, no, I don't remember seeing these, honestly. I remember well, I probably have seen it. You probably just had it for a while, and I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, it's this guy. That one I can't get rid of because, frankly, who's going to want a pop figure of me?
Yeah. Well, that's a very cool one. Yeah, it makes sense that you'd just, keep that one to yourself.
For sure.
Okay, so we just talked about a lot of Star Wars, so let's move into just one little news topic that I want to discuss with you real quick. Earlier this week, Mark Ruffalo was, to me, I read this headline and I thought to myself immediately, I was like, damn, Mark Ruffalo is about to cause irreparable damage to fandoms right now with this statement. But in short, pretty much what he said was that the MCU offers more variety than Star Wars does, and Star Wars is it's always the same and it gets repetitive. What do you think about this statement? I feel like he's just kind of... Earlier this week, there was also Damon Lindelof, the creator of Lost, who's pretty much saying Marvel movies would be better off if they made less of them, meaning that each one would be a little more special if they weren't pumping out so much content. Because even with Phase 4 just now, we were getting 2 movies and 2 shows a year. And, I just feel like they can just do that now because Phases 1 through 3, it was at most 2 movies a year, but they didn't have Disney Plus at the time. Who do you agree with more here?
Oh, I mean, if you want me to be honest with you, I kind of agree with the Hulk a little more. To me, it seems like the repetitiveness that's in Star Wars is basically because they're kind of just trying to retell the older stories in a different way, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's fair. You'd see that with Force Awakens and A New Hope. Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, I kind of agree with Ruffalo a little bit. But when you're talking about repetitiveness, do you mean are you going into the whole Marvel fatigue deal or anything like that, or?
Well, no, he was saying Ruffalo was saying that Star Wars gets repetitive.
Okay,
that was one of the things that was in his quote.
Well, yeah, I think it's a little repetitive. I mean, every now and then you'll get originals and stuff, but it's still around the same story, the same overall story. The whole Skywalker saga was pretty much a 9 movie ordeal. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Marvel movies you have different characters that get introduced, different powers, different backgrounds, mm-hmm. Where some of them are scientists, some of them are ex-cons, soldiers. So I think that's where I agree with Ruffalo, that it's there's a little more variety when it comes with the Marvel. Now, as far as Lindelof goes, the only thing I really saw the only thing that I really got into that he did was Lost. I enjoyed the show, everything except for the ending, everything except for the finale. I liked, I did not enjoy that finale at all, but
for Lost, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. But I kind of agree with him too, with him saying that if the Marvel movies were a little more spaced out, it would create just a little more anticipation, I guess, for a full spectacular or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my take on it.
I think I'm a little more leaning with disagreeing with Ruffalo, just because I feel almost the bones of every Marvel origin story, Iron Man 1, Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, the ones that introduce the character, mm-hmm. the arc of the character, especially with the villains that they face off with, they're villains that have it's pretty much a mirror image of them,
That's true.
Yeah. So like even Black Panther is like that. Even though Black Panther is not really an origin movie because it came after Civil War, but like he was fighting Killmonger, and they both had like they were both super powered, like they were powered by the plant,
Yeah.
So
by the heart-shaped herb.
Yeah, and they have the same character arcs, like they go through, it's that thing in literature, it's just the hero's journey or whatever. That's all of the Marvel characters' origin stories. So that's the only point where I kind of disagree with him. Like the MCU origin movies just kind of feel like the same, like meat and potatoes, just seasoned a little differently, So yeah, like I'm a little in the middle with Ruffalo on that, but like I do agree with the Star Wars bit, just because, like we mentioned earlier, Force Awakens and A New Hope are essentially like pretty much the same.
Different sides to the same coin, I guess.
Yeah. And then Lindelof, I think he does have a good point. It's like I would rather to get less of Marvel. I'd rather them space it out a little more. But it just kind of seems like Marvel has to do this, because I don't know if like people have another 10 years to invest in a new arc of the story.
That's true.
Like phases 4, 5, and 6 are gonna be like, I think it'll be like 5 years once phase 6 ends. You think
so?
Yeah, because I think like I'm pretty sure phase 4, 5, and 6, Avengers Secret Wars, I think comes out in 2024 or something. So pretty much they did like with these past, or for the next 3 phases, they'll be telling like phases 1 through 3 was 10 years of storytelling, and then these next 3 phases they're gonna do in like half the time. But like Damon Lindelof, like he has his own Star Wars movie on the way, so it kind of just seemed like Damon Lindelof said this, and then Mark Ruffalo answered with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's just the back and forth and stuff.
At some points can be entertaining, but then they, like I said, they're going to damage the fandoms horribly.
Oh yeah, no,
just endless
agree.
Debate online.
I'm with you, and the funny thing is, they work for the same company.
Yeah.
Both guys work for the mouse, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why are you even gonna talk and speak negatively about each other when you guys are pretty much under the same roof?
Yeah, you guys are pretty much on the same team.
Yeah. So anyway,
yeah, that'll do it for that. But yeah, it was a hilarious time to be on the internet. But anyway, let's get into the movie here that we said we were going to discuss. Let's talk about Joe Coy's Easter Sunday. You and I saw this movie, it was a couple weeks ago now. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Dad's birthday, the 6th.
Yeah.
I think we kind of got him upset, bro.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I don't know. I didn't hear any of it, so thank goodness. I think you had to deal with that more than I did, but apologies.
He's like, where are you guys going? Huh? Nowhere, Dad. We'll come back with Joseph. Oh, where are you going? Oh, God.
Can I come?
Can I come? Huh? Are you guys going to watch Joe Coy?
I can't believe, like, it was so funny when he, there was just one time randomly at the house, and he was, watching Netflix on the couch, and then out of nowhere, he was just like, do you know who Joe Coy is? I was like, yeah, I know, like, some things.
I was there, dude.
Yeah, and then we put on one of his Netflix comedy specials, and yeah, it was a good time.
It definitely was.
But yeah, so actually, let me ask you this real quick. Let's talk about Joe Coy before we actually talk about his new film. How many times have you? Me personally, I've never seen him live. I've never seen his comedy special like in person. I think I maybe watched like either most of or a whole comedy special, like that time that we were just talking about at the parents' house. I was definitely tuning in and out of it. But yeah, so how did you even discover him, and how many times have you seen him live?
I discovered him in college over at Cal State Fullerton. Yeah, there was another comedian that I listened to regularly before I was listening to Joe Coy, and I'll bring him up again later because of something he said about Easter Sunday. But Joe Coy, I heard of him in college, and I've seen him twice.
Twice?
Is it twice? Yeah. I saw him at the Ontario Improv, and I saw him at the Brea Improv. Good show, good live. He's great live.
I bet, yeah.
I mean, I love stand-up comedy as it is, but he is incredible live. He interacts with the crowd a lot. I've seen him kick an attendee out for heckling him.
What do you mean?
And it's funny because I listen to his podcast sometimes, and he brought that up. It was at Brea Improv, where she was heckling him a little too much, and he had her kicked out.
Well, what was she saying?
I forgot. I think she might have been there for her birthday or something like that.
Okay.
And she was just trying to get his attention, and you know he's like on point when it comes to his bits. Mm-hmm. So if you kind of like take him off track, it would mess with anyone.
I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I have seen him twice. He's very funny. I think he holds the record over at Brea Improv for most consecutive sold out shows.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So I mean, he's great. He's a great comedian. When he was in Hawaii like a couple of years ago, he set another record over there too. Like he sold out the Blaisdell Center, which is like I guess one of their arenas out there. Mm-hmm. Like he sold it out for like 11 days straight. You know, so that's saying a lot. But yeah, that I first heard of him in college, and I've seen him a couple of times.
Nice. So which time was it? Because there was just one day, I don't know if you were still living at the house. I was for sure still living at the house in Claremont. Uh-huh. And there was just a day you came back, and you just kept on, like, because, I already grew up with, like, mom and dad calling me Joseph, right? Yeah. And that's, like, one of his main things is that, like, just his, like, him making fun of his mom. And,
yep.
And, yeah, so there was one day you came home with a shirt that just said Joseph on it.
With an exclamation point, right?
Exclamation point on it. Was that after a show?
Yeah, I bought it from him.
Nice.
And quite frankly, I wish I still had it.
Yeah.
Because I remember I gave it to you, and you never wore it.
I never wore it because I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know who Joe Coy was at the time. Like, you just gave it to me. I was like, this is cool. Like, I'm not going to walk around just in public just with like a shirt with my name on it. Like, maybe it's like one thing if my name wasn't Joseph, but like just walking around with like with just my name, I'm like, nah, that's kind of weird.
You know what's funny is I was hoping you would remember that.
Oh yeah, no, I for sure remember the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was actually going around various movie theaters and watching the movie with whoever was there.
That's sick.
Like,
nice.
And on Monday, he was here at the Outlets at Orange, or what some people called the Block.
Gotcha.
So he was here all day. So it would have been a great opportunity to show him, hey, look, I have one of your old shirts. This is like 12 years ago or something like that. Mm-hmm. It would have been great to have him sign it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Joe Coy. I actually have his pop figure.
Nice.
It's I'm a big fan. He's an inspiration to me.
Of course.
Also, because one, he's a Filipino guy making it in a world where not a lot of us make it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Not a lot of Filipino folks in entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. You'll come across a few. Like one of the older ones is like Ernie Reyes Jr.
Okay.
Who was out as a kid. He was in a TV show called Sidekicks. You ever watch Surf Ninjas?
Mm-mm.
No? I could have sworn I made you sit through Surf Ninjas with me.
Maybe I did, but if I was a kid, I probably won't remember it.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Surf Ninjas was a fun one to watch. He was in the first 2 Ninja Turtle movies. Yeah, I'm going off track. He's not even part of the show, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, you brought up a good point. There's not a lot of Filipinos in media, so It's nice to see Joe Coy out there and making this movie. By Universal Studios, which is awesome because I work for NBC now. So like, it was
so
cool
proud
to see.
of you. So proud of you. You don't even know, dude.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like a Filipino movie funded by big studio like that. It's great to see. Okay, so let's get back to the movie Easter Sunday. It's directed by Jay. I'm gonna have a hard time saying his name, so bear with me here. Jay Chandrasekhar. He was in this film as Joe Coy's agent Nick, but I think he'd be most known for being in Super Troopers and Beer Fest.
Oh, is that what he was in before?
Yeah. Those are
okay.
like his two big things.
Okay.
But yeah, so just a little synopsis. The movie is set around a family gathering to celebrate Easter Sunday, or what Joe Coy refers to as like the Super Bowl for Filipinos. And it's a comedy film, like loose. Would you say it's like loosely based, or is this like pretty close to his life experience?
I think it's more loosely based than anything.
Another big part of the movie, pretty much the whole plot is based around him getting a role in a TV show. I missed this. I thought this was really funny. Does he ever joke about like Filipinos being late to things? Is that one of his gags or no?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Not that I remember. But we're always late to things anyway.
Yeah. So I was like 20 minutes late to the movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty hilarious. But so yeah, it's kind of, I'd say the whole movie is kind of based around like his whole take on like work-life balance. And the movie has a villain in Dev Deluxe who is portrayed by Asif Ali, who is in WandaVision. And then I also liked seeing Eugene Cordero in this. He's like little brother. Are they brothers or cousins in this? Cousins,
I think. He was the one that got into the whole deal with Dev Deluxe, right?
Yes, and he was wearing the Golden State jersey. And he was in Loki, so it was cool to see some like MCU people in this, you know?
Yeah. He was in Kong too. You remember Kong?
Yes. What did you think about this movie? Did you like it, like just kind of speaking generally about it?
Well, it depends. The Joe Coy fan in me says, yeah, it was great. The just movie fan in general says, you put somebody else in Joe's role, it's kind of flat. If it wasn't Joe Coy, chances are I would have probably just waited for it to come out on. Yeah. If I watched it at all.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that with 100%. Like, if Joe Coy wasn't in this, I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's what I told a friend of mine. Like, a friend of mine the other day asked me, what did you think of the movie? I was like, which answer do you want? Do you want the Joe Coy supporter answer, or do you want the real answer? Yeah. They asked for both. So I was like, okay, here it is. The Filipino pride guy, push our culture, this, that, and the next, go watch the movie.
Yeah.
And then I told him the same thing about my real answer, which was, along the lines of what you said, is if Joe's not in it, chances are we won't watch it.
And I think that also kind of just speaks to just the kind of movies that Hollywood invests in, and like the type of movies are getting pushed out, because even if you think about just comedy movies in general, there aren't a lot of comedies anymore. Like, I bet this would have been like a big hit when comedies like Forgetting Sarah Marshall or like those types of movies, I feel like, or like your Anchorman, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like early 2000s. That's why I feel like this movie is, it just kind of feels like out of place, and it just belongs in a different time,
I agree.
Yeah, I think the comedy genre is just a hard sell for anybody.
Right now, especially.
Yeah. For me, when I first showed up, and for one, I thought it was the greatest thing that, like, I pulled up and you were just recording a video of your Portos box, because you brought Portos into the movie theater. And for a while, I thought about, like, how did you even get this in here? But then I saw you had a backpack. But, I thought that was pretty hilarious. And then I sat down and I just tried tuning into the movie. And I can't lie to you, I was like very invested for a good long while. And then like I was starting to laugh at some things. I was like, oh wow, yeah, I've been through that. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And that's like the nice thing about this movie, is that, the relatable factor of it or whatever. But just as the movies start to go on, it's like just getting more jokes that I'm like, man, I didn't find that funny. And like once a joke, like some jokes just kept on going on and on. It's just not funny at all, and they're just like just beating it dead. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, fuck, dude, this is kind of tough. And
I'm with you. Believe me, because like, how many of his specials have you watched?
Like I said, like maybe like I'd say like maybe like 80% of one, and it was like a Netflix special.
I don't know if you've picked up on any of it, but a lot of like a good amount of the jokes that were in the movie are some of his bits.
Right, like for his stand up, right? He was just bringing a lot of his stand up to a film.
Yeah, which is okay, I guess. that a lot of that stuff was recycled material. But,
what would you say? What would you say is like his like go-to bit that you heard like live and in the film?
You know what? Honestly, I forgot already. I forgot, dude. Because like when like the first couple of days after we watched the movie, I saw a headline about that other comedian that I was into back in the day, Rex Never Ready, and he said something about one of his jokes being used in the movie. It was the one about when they were driving through Daly City, and Joe made a reference to the fog. And the reason why it's so foggy, is because that's when all the Filipinos would use all of their rice cookers. Granted, anybody in Daly City could have said that.
Daly City is actually like historically, like I don't know this. Is it like Filipino population is huge over there or what?
Yeah, it's huge. The mayor's Filipino.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know anything about Daly City.
There's a really big Filipino population over there. I mean,
gotcha.
It's like West Covina.
So I imagine, what is there like a 99 ranch market up there too, or what?
It's probably more like a seafood city.
Oh, okay.
which is a Filipino market, or Island Pacific. I mean, they probably got a Jollibee. They probably have as many Jollibees as they have Starbucks.
Got you.
You know,
like a Jollibee every 10 blocks or some shit.
Yeah, and that's just an assumption. I really don't know. I haven't been to Daly City in a really long time. You know, because I used to go to San Francisco. So that joke was actually, well, I mean, according to Rex, was his joke, and it got reused. But
do you think it was like a thing that he just like Joe Coy just used it like without his permission or something, or?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they have an issue with each other or what. You know, it may have been completely accidental. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly how much of the writing Joe Coy had a say in. That was like a thing that I saw, a headline I saw on like social media.
But yeah, no, another part of the movie that I thought was pretty interesting is that I oddly connected to his son. He's portrayed by this dude named Brandon Wardell, who is like, I didn't know he was like really acting in anything like that, but I only knew him through the internet. Like I used to follow him on Twitter because he would tweet ridiculous things, and I always thought he was pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, no, like I really related to his character just because like whenever I'm brought around to all these family gatherings, I'm the youngest. And sometimes I'll be brought around like this big group of people, and I'm like I know like you're my aunt, like Tita, whoever, or Lola, like all these people. Yeah. And then I'll just I'll be there and be like, oh my god, you're so big now, like whatever. And then I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm big now, huh? Like like I'm a grown up. Like unfortunately, I don't really know who you are. But
Joe, do you know how big you were last time I saw you, huh?
And yeah, so that's him in the movie. Yeah, that's him in this movie. So I was like, yeah, I can relate.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, makes sense. But another thing about the movie that I thought was pretty dramatized is like when it starts to get a little Hallmarky, like, you know, oh, family this, family that. I'm like, okay, this is cute, you know? Yeah. And then, but the thing that I found like a little realistic, at least related to like mine and yours experience especially, is like, oh, they get like real like serious, and like they start talking out all their issues and then resolve these issues or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, does that actually happen?
Doesn't happen in our family, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't happen with us. Like I know I'm very familiar with like the beefing bits. Like I forget their names, but there are two characters in the film that are beefing with each other, and no one really knows why they're beefing with each other. They're just
is it his mom and his aunt?
Yeah, his mom and his aunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they got beef, and no one really knows why. Like I always hear mom and dad talking about like somebody like, oh, I don't like them. It's like, oh yeah, they say like what is like bambahira? No, man, like what does that mean in English?
Bambahira.
Yeah.
Bambihira naman. Yeah. I mean, it's just like basically saying Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, so like they would say like someone's name, like a relative's name, followed with that, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what's the beef?
That's just how they are, man. That's how the old Filipino guard is. You know what I mean?
I get it, but
Yeah.
like to go back to the film, it's how like they were beefing with each other and then they resolved the issues. I'm like, no, like at least to me that doesn't.
No, that's just not real. But I will I just wanted to bring this up. I did not like Tia Carrere's role in the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So she was the aunt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Tia Carrere I know was Cassandra from Wayne's World.
Okay.
Did you ever watch it?
I know I've seen Wayne's World, but I wouldn't know that was her.
Yeah, but I just thought that her accent was really a bit much.
And me too, because after I know you follow this page on Instagram, but the One Down Media folks, I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So she Joe Coy's been on there, and then I started seeing her on there recently. Yeah. And then you had mentioned how like her accent's real bad, and then I like listened to her speak. I was like, oh wow, like she like no accent at all. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think she's actually from Hawaii. But yeah, so, I think her character would have been better served as like that aunt who married into a very American family, I guess. Basically, you know which aunt of ours I'm referring to, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think she would have been served a little better as that person who doesn't necessarily have a strong accent as far as broken English, and who's like kind of trying to force you to be proper instead of somebody who's just always bickering with her sister. But that's just my opinion, because I was a fan of Tia Carrere back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just don't think this movie did her any service. But you know, hey, she was in it. She as annoying as her role was, I guess she knocked it out of the park.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, her. I think like who else had to like fake the accent for this?
Joey Gilia. He's the one that he looks more Hispanic than anything to me, but I guess he's Filipino too. He was part of Joe Coy's special that he took to the Philippines, so his accent was super fake. And I'm not really too sure as far as the rest of the characters on how bad their accents were.
And I thought that was like a strange thing too, is that I like that he tossed this like aspect of like auditioning for pilots or auditioning for things in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So like sometimes producers will tell you like, oh, you know, it'd be great if you put on this accent, you know? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Joe Coy, like in the movie, was like very like against like, nah, like why do I have to do an accent? I don't have to do an accent. Yeah. And they would say like, oh, well, you would be funny if you put on the accent, you know, you're a Filipino guy, do an accent.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like I'm funny regardless, like with or without the accent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
to
hear about like, to see that in the movie as like one of like the, I don't know, like a plot point, I guess. And then to hear like them doing Filipino accents, I'm just like, this is kind of contradicting here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I get it.
It worked out fine, I guess. But
yeah. I mean, one of the other things that kind of I thought was a little weird was how much I'm a fan of Manny Pacquiao myself.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. Okay, great. You have a pair of his gloves and stuff. You're a fan. I think we all were at one point. I think he was really, truly the one person that could actually unite the country for a night, at least. I thought it was a little exaggerated when, you know, everybody's pin number was Manny Pacquiao's birthday.
Yeah. Like, and everyone has the same pin number.
Yeah.
It's like they were giving him all their pin numbers, and then it's like, oh, it's Manny Pacquiao's birthday. And like,
yeah.
I don't know that, like, are there people that are like diehard Filipino like that? Like for Manny Pacquiao, I'm like, I don't know. That seems kind of silly.
Yeah, it's a movie, you know, and it's fine, I guess, but fuck, really?
Yeah, it's like a little I don't know, it was a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about the whole karaoke scene?
I know karaoke is like a huge thing in every Filipino household, but like this scene specifically was mad cheese. I was like, oh, this is like, it's like, you know, it's like the final act of the movie, and it's like, oh yeah, everybody's celebrating, super happy or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one just dragged on for way too long, and I thought it was super corny.
I will tell you though, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
It
big
just
time accurate. Song choice, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So I mean, friggin', what was it? Apple is Filipino. One of the founding members is Filipino. Yeah. I will say, you're always gonna find somebody that's like trying to outsing everybody else. Somebody who's louder than everyone else.
Is this in reference to one of our uncles?
No, in reference to another relative. Think a little younger. But yeah, there's always somebody who's trying to make it like they're trying out for like American Idol.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I thought that was pretty accurate.
Yeah. I don't know. The ending of it as well was a little much for me. Like pretty much one of the plot points of the movie is that Eugene Cordero's character owes Dev Deluxe like a ton of money, and the way that they're going to get this money is by selling Manny Pacquiao's gloves, which Dev Deluxe was in possession of, but he stole them. So they stole them from Dev Deluxe, and now they're like, it's wild.
Yeah.
But like in the final act of the movie, Dev Deluxe like shows up at their house, and then like this whole issue gets resolved by Joe Coy knocking out Dev Deluxe wearing Manny Pacquiao's gloves. I'm like,
yeah,
you guys.
Yeah. It's like you put on the gloves, suddenly you're a pro boxer, right? You can knock out anyone.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, somebody who was armed.
Yeah, right. Everyone there was armed. And somehow, like this, I don't know. I think that's a little like getting there is like a little nitpicky, but yeah.
I mean, I gotta say there were some details about the movie that I really loved, like the whole family get together stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of it that's like very.
I really
tugs at the heartstrings.
yeah, like old family pictures being up on the wall, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Santo Nino, a baby Jesus.
Dude, we have a little altar like that at the Claremont house.
Dude, that baby Jesus statue is older than probably both of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's I always give two answers as far as if anyone asks me how I like the movie. You know what I mean? It's either you give the Filipino answer or you don't. You give the real answer, you know? So, but yeah, it was okay. It was good. I mean, I don't think it'll do anything to damage Joe Coy's career. At least I hope not, because he's an amazing stand-up comedian. Amazing. His last Netflix special wasn't the best, the one in the Philippines. And the one in Hawaii, I kind of started falling off once he started talking about the boba. But he started off with that one real strong. Do you remember the Hawaii one where he talked about Toyota Tacomas?
Oh, okay. So I don't remember much of that special, but I know the Toyota Tacoma gag because you and Joe would really talk about it.
It was a big deal at our wedding because I guess it had just come out. All of us freaking mainland morons are in Hawaii reciting these lines.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, Joe Coy will get away with that, no problem. But we're nobody.
Yeah.
And we went the night before the wedding, we went out, and it was like some kind of First Fridays, I guess, in Honolulu, like in Chinatown. So I had to tell everybody, look, tone down the Joe Coy jokes tonight, okay? I don't want to get into a fight the night before my wedding.
It's funny because after you guys were cracking those, like the Toyota Tacoma jokes, like when I came back here to California, I would just start driving around, and sometimes I would see Tacomas like with like the island's sticker on the back of it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude. Whoa, this is like
it's a
for
thing.
real.
It's a thing. No, but
Man.
you will see a lot of them on Oahu, especially. Lifted 2000 tree
Oh no.
Toyota Tacoma, cherry, brah, cherry.
Good God. Yeah. I guess like kind of like my final thoughts on the movie, like some jokes were okay, some landed, but for the most part, I wasn't too big on the style of it. The movie as a whole kind of falls flat. Honestly, I would give it like 2.5 out of 5. And I would definitely recommend you just watch like I think you'd be better off just watching like one of his stand-up specials. It's in theaters, and watch it when it comes to streaming, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you? What you have any like final thoughts on the movie?
I mean, it was great for what it was, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the first feature movie that had a bunch of Filipino names in the credits.
Yep.
So I mean that's something I could get behind. But like I said earlier, take Chokoi out of it, and the movie's not really that great.
Yeah.
2.5 out of 5. That might even be generous, dude.
I'm not that tough. The 2.5 is more so in like having like Filipinos in front of the camera and like a lot of Asian folks behind the camera as well.
Yeah.
And it's not just Filipino people in this either. Like
Yeah.
there are other like all sorts of Asian folks in it,
Yeah. I mean,
Which is cool.
exposure definitely is like
Big
a
plus.
really big thing. A big plus, yeah. And but yeah, I agree with you. You might be better off watching one of his specials.
Yeah.
And it's a little older, but I think Live in Seattle is probably my favorite Netflix special that he has. He's working on another one,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he filmed him last time he played the Forum out in LA. But I think that one in particular is my favorite one. And yeah, the movie was okay for what it was. I mean, to me, the standard for Asian movies, if you want to go with like a non kung fu action movie, is probably like maybe Crazy Rich Asians, which actually surprised me to be a pretty decent movie.
And it's like like rom-coms. If you're into rom-coms, it's a good one.
Yeah. So but one person I'm surprised wasn't in this movie is this kid named Nico Santos.
Nico Santos. Okay.
He was in Crazy Rich Asians, and he was in a Superstore.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's really good.
Do you think they wanted to try and get Chris Aquino for this?
Oh God, I hope not.
Because she was in Crazy Rich Asians, right?
For like 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
I don't even know why. When I saw her on that movie, I was like, "Forget it. It's time to go." that was like the worst part of a movie that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But nobody really knows who Chris Aquino is.
Yeah,
you and I know who she is, and know how annoying she can get.
What is it? ABS-CBN? Is that the?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, dude, it's like mom's favorite person right there, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
But anyway, I got off track. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
The movie was good for what it was. I think it would have been served better to go straight to Netflix, to be honest with you. I think Joe's still going to be Joe. He's still going to be a great comedian. I hope he gets like a sitcom, to be honest with you. I hope he gets a sitcom because I think he's amazing. The man is an inspiration, and anytime I think of how to be successful, I just remember some of the things that he says on his podcast, and one of them was like, you just have to stop giving a fuck.
It's true. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things ever.
Yeah,
in life.
Yeah, you just have to stop giving a fuck and go. That's it for me.
So you want him to get the sitcom? Because at the end of Easter Sunday, he ends up getting a sitcom. Do you want the Easter Sunday sitcom spinoff that they're filming in the movie, starring Lou Diamond Phillips?
Maybe. Well played, sir. Well played.
maybe we'll get that as a Peacock exclusive or something.
Yeah, maybe
Peacock original.
Maybe.
Joe, if you're listening to the show, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
But okay, I think that'll do it for this episode. Before we go, do you want to plug your socials real quick?
Well, let's see. Please give me a follow on Instagram at Kuya Timmy. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Kuya Pop Culture Show. I try to do as many vlogs as I can. Lately, it's been a little tough, but channel's growing. We're trying to put whatever. It's just a fun vlog, you know.
Sure.
And I'm hoping to get you on there.
Of course.
Yeah.
We'll do it someday.
Yeah.
When we go to the Academy Museum.
Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's just fun stuff. You know, it's it's a pandemic project that has grown past the pandemic, I guess. Well, hopefully it does.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, give me a follow and subscribe to the channel. You know, Joseph, if I could say something about you in this podcast, I'm really proud of you, dude.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, I think you guys do great here.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
So you guys are fun to listen to.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have you back on the show sometime soon for episode 100. You'll be back for that one. That's gonna be a fun one. We'll see how that goes. That'll be 5 episodes from now, episode 100. So, Kuya, thanks for coming on. And
yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So that'll do it for us here. We will catch you guys in episode 96, where we're probably going to talk Rise of Skywalker. I'll see if you want to come on for that, Kuya. But yeah.
Rise of Skywalker. It's a good thing you didn't have me on for The Force Awakens.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode, folks. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time. So peace.